Hi, this is Ms. Meyer, and today we're going to cover sections 1.1 and 1.3, which have to do with expressions and equations. And our learning targets for this section are that you should be able to write and evaluate expressions and equations. So in order to do that, we should look at what the definition is. So an algebraic expression, it consists of one or more numbers and variables along with one or more arithmetic operations. So one example of an expression would be 5x plus 2. It has one or more number or variables, and also it has an operation of addition. Another example would be the quantity x plus 3 squared. Those are both examples of expressions. Now, an algebraic equation is a mathematical sentence stating that two mathematical expressions are equal. So notice it's made up of expressions and it says they are equal. So the biggest thing with an equation is it must have an equal sign. So turning our expressions from above into equations, one example would be 5x plus 2 is equal to 12. And once again, I can do the same thing with the other one. We could have the quantity x plus 3 squared is equal to 25. So that would be an algebraic equation. One thing to take note of is that expressions are evaluated, not solved. You can only solve an equation. So when we are evaluating, we use PEMDAS. Remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So the important thing to remember is that P stands for your parentheses, E stands for exponents, M stands for multiply, D stands for divide, A stands for add, and S stands for subtraction. So this is the order of operations. You must do them in this order. The biggest thing to remember is that multiply and divide, they are paired together. You do so, you multiply and divide from left to right. And guess what? The same thing is true about addition and subtraction. You do it as you see it from left to right. It must be done in that order. So one thing that it looks like when we write it out, PEMDAS, it looks like it's 6 steps. But really, it's a 4-step process. The first thing you do is you look for parentheses and you take care of whatever's inside the parentheses. After that, you go ahead and find any exponents and calculate what that would be. Then the third step is to multiply and divide, and biggest thing again is from left to right. And the fourth thing is that you add and subtract from left to right. So let's just go ahead and do a few examples using PEMDAS. Okay, so 1, evaluate each expression. So part A, we look for parentheses, and I see parentheses. So I go ahead and I'm going to take care of what's inside there. Just rewriting everything else. So I say 4 plus 3, well, that's 7. Okay, exponents, I do not have any exponents, so then I move on to multiply and divide from left to right. So if I start on my left, I see 2 times 5, which is 10. As I move to my right, I see 3 times 7, which is 21. Excuse me, 21, like I said. So then I have 10 plus 21, which gives us 31. There it is, evaluated. Okay, B. Now if you look here, there's multiple sets of parentheses or there's multiple groupings. So biggest thing is always start on your inside and work your way out. So for this one, I'm just going to copy everything down. Now I get to the inside parentheses. I have 30 divided by 6. Well, 30 divided by 6 is 5. And since I have evaluated what was in the parentheses, I don't need to rewrite the parentheses. Okay, then I continue on. I still have brackets, which are just another form of parentheses. So I would say, well, what's 5 plus 5? Well, that is 10. And then I would just do 2 times 10, which is 20. Okay. Now let's look at a little bit different example. C. We have to evaluate this expression, but as you notice, there's variables involved. So the first thing I would do is just rewrite everything, including what each variable represents. So I have x, well, x is equal to 3, so it's going to be 3. Y is 4, plus 8, divided by 12. Now I can go ahead and follow my order of operations. So parentheses, I look on the inside, 4 plus 8 is 12. So I do that. Then I look for exponents. I do not have any exponents. So then I go multiply and divide from left to right. So as I go from the left to the right, I have 3 times 12, which is 36, divided by 12. And lastly, 36 divided by 12 is 3. Okay. Now I would like you to pause the video, and I would like for you to do number 5 on your own. Okay, now we're going to move on to a different type of example. This one does not say evaluate, it says simplify each expression. So the difference here is there is going to be variables, so you just need to make sure you combine your like terms. Still following the orders of operation. So first things first is I look inside my parentheses. If I look, I cannot combine any of them. They are not like terms. So then I move on, and I would distribute this 3 to my parentheses. Okay, so I would have negative 10x plus, well, 3 times 4 is 12, so I have 12x squared, plus 3 times 2 is 6x, and 3 times negative 2 will give us negative 6. And then I would go ahead and add that 4x squared. Now, as you can see, there's only addition and subtraction, and so what I do is I look for like terms and I would combine them. So I have 12x squared and I have 4x squared. So 12x squared plus 4x squared gives me 16x squared. Moving on, I have a negative 10x and a 6x. So negative 10x plus 6x gives us negative 4x. And lastly, I have my constant of negative 6. One important thing that I would like for you to do is to write it in standard form. And what standard form is that you list the highest exponent to the smallest. So as you can see, this one is written in standard form. Okay. Once again, I would like for you to pause the video, and I would like you to do B on your own. All right, example 3 then. The Pyramid Arena in Memphis, Tennessee is the 3rd largest pyramid in the world. The area of its base, 360,000 square feet, and the area of its base is 360,000 square feet, and it is 321 feet high. The formula for the volume of a pyramid is volume equals 1/3 base times height, okay, or capital B, okay, and capital B represents the area of the base. So it's not just whatever one of the lengths of the base is, it has to be the area, and H is the height. Okay, so it says find the volume of the pyramid arena. So my volume is equal to 1/3 capital B, or the area of my base. Well, they told me the area of the base is 360,000 square feet times the height, and they said the height was 321. So this is all just multiplying, so you can type it in on your calculator, or we can just go ahead and work our way through it. So 1/3 of 360,000 is 120,000, and then we have to take and multiply that by 321. And if I go ahead and multiply those two, I will get that the total volume is 38,520,000. And it is important that we label. So this is volume, so it is 3-dimensional. So we are talking feet cubed. And there we have it. All right, and example 4. It says find the perimeter of the triangle if A equals 9 and B equals 10. So one thing to remember is perimeter is the area around the outside. So we just need to go ahead and add up all the outsides together. Okay, so I'm just going to write them down. We would have 2A plus 5A plus 1 plus 0.5B squared. And now it's back to the type of problem we did before. So I'm just going to plug everything in. So it's 2 times A is 9, plus 5 times 9 plus 1, plus 0.5, and then B is 10. So 10 squared. So orders of operation tell me to do what's inside the parentheses first. So I would have 5 times 9, which gives us 45. And so 45 plus 1. So it's going to give us 46. So I'm just going to go ahead and write it all out. So I would have 2 times 9 is 18, plus, like I said, 45 plus 1 is 46. And then I would have 0.5 times, well, 10 squared is 100. Simplifying a little bit further, we have 18 plus 46 plus, now we just have to say, well, what is half of 100? Well, we know half of 100 is 50. Okay, so if I go ahead and add those three numbers together, I would have 114 centimeters. And my perimeter is one-dimensional, so it is just centimeters. Okay, so this is where we're going to stop today. We will finish the rest of the notes in class tomorrow. I want you to make sure you take the video quiz on Schoology just for practice. And if you have any questions, we'll go over them tomorrow. Have a good night.